Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Happy August 1st. I'm here with my July planner update, but not only that, I have some knitting updates because a lot of you were interested in that, some art updates, and I will also be sharing more in depth my planner plans for 2024. So basically what I plan on using as my planners for 2024. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, this is my third video that I'm filming today. And as someone who doesn't talk a lot, I am very tired. So hopefully I can make it through this video, and I likely will not be speaking for the next 3 business days. Gonna switch it up and start with the smallest planner today. This is my Leuchtturm bullet journal. In my last video, I said that my goal for July was to finish this bullet journal. Unfortunately, I am 4 pages away from my goal. I totally could have easily filled 4 pages, but it would have been a little bit too forced, and I never want to put that kind of pressure on myself. So we're going to August with 4 blank pages, and then after that I will be starting my next bullet journal. This is what my July monthly spread ended up looking like. I'm pretty sure I added a few more things at the bottom, and I also did this like little happy moment section, which I really love. And since I only have 4 pages left in here, I think I won't do my August monthly in this bullet journal, and instead I will start it in my other bullet journal. And if I recall correctly, yeah, okay, so I actually started this August 2022, so it's been a year, a little less than a year, which is kind of cool. Here I have July 6 and 7. I went along with the whole beehive / Winnie the Pooh theme. Here I started a page of blog ideas, which I definitely still want to build off of. So there's that. This is July 8th. It was a rather busy day, so I created a to-do list as well as a kind of like an hourly breakdown. And I had this coral color for personal stuff, this green ochre sort of color for work, and then this blue for family time. This is kind of an unsatisfying spread. I was trying this like horizontal / vertical layout, and I never ended up like filling this out because I wasn't feeling very inspired. But instead I had this sticky note. I had this on my computer and it was kind of getting in the way, so I just stuck it in here. You can pause to read if you want to. Whenever I have long design projects, I like to create like progress trackers. If you've watched my previous ones, you would have seen these. I think I had another one in here somewhere. But yeah, anyways, I create these trackers just to kind of see my progress and motivate myself. It's so satisfying to fill it out. And this was my checklist for designing the... Right, it was for designing the date covers because I had to do four formats. Hobonichi Cousin, Hobo Weeks, the A6, as well as the standard vertical. And then for each of the formats, I did 3 pages, so just the numbers, just the dates, and then the combined undated version. So it was a lot, and then each of that had 4 steps, and then this emoji's like all done, throwing paper everywhere. That's how I felt when I finished. Okay, then I have July 20th, but for some reason I wrote July 7th, and my hypothesis is that July is like the 7th month of the year, and so I had the number 7 in my brain, so I wrote 7 because I see no relation between 7 and 20. But yeah, I just had a few things that I wanted to clean, and then I made a doodle of my running outfit for that day. Very random. My birthday is actually this Sunday, August 6th, which you will get a plan with me on that day. And for this year, I decided that I want to bake my own cake. I'm deciding between making a plant-based tiramisu recipe or an olive oil cake. Still not too sure which one I want to do. I really should decide soon though, because I need to get ingredients and stuff. This page makes me so happy. These are all of the swatches from the June washi pre-order. All of the washi tapes recently arrived, so I was able to do a live stream on Instagram, and we just like opened and swatched all of them together, and it was so much fun. And I always love flipping to this page to see all of the foil. So pretty. And I love this Leuchtturm pocket bullet journal because the width of the page is perfect for the pattern to repeat. There are a few exceptions, like some of the patterns are longer, but for the standard ones, the 5 emojis fit across perfectly. Okay, and then this is the last page that I did for July 29th and July 30th. I was doodling some ideas for the August freebie. These were just some things that I wanted to catch up on yesterday. Sundays are typically my catch-up days, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people. So those were my main priorities. And then I just filmed this today. I did a little TikTok video showing all of my favorite pens. So that is that. And then we have the 4 empty pages, which I'm not too sure what I'll be doing yet, but I guess you will see in my next planner update. Moving right along, I have my Hobonichi Weeks. All right, so this is my movement tracker. I show this every month, but there isn't really anything new to add. Still being pretty consistent with my steps and workouts. This was July 1st and 2nd. So July 1st was when we moved offices. So you will see across my other planners as well that it was just a very hectic few days. I really love this washi tape. One of my customers actually sent this to me. And okay, I do want to talk a little bit about this customer. I don't want to like say her name just in case she doesn't want to be named, but there was this customer who had an issue with one of her orders, and you know, of course, as a shop owner, I wanted to resolve the issue, and you know, we took care of that. And then 2 weeks later, maybe, I received a parcel in my PO box, and she actually sent me this washi tape and also this like desktop basket, and she said that it was just basically a thank you for helping her with her order, and it just absolutely made my day. Obviously, like, you know, it's my responsibility to help customers, and I never expect anything in return, but that was the first time I ever received a thank you like that, and it just, I don't know, it just makes everything so much more special. Even without that backstory, I love this washi tape so much. Okay, moving on. This was the 2nd week of July. We got in the little stamps for the July snail parcel subscription. All of the subscribers get a little stamp that has an emoji with a sprout on its head and little sparkles, and it is just the sweetest thing ever. So I had to do a little stamp test in here. I really like how I did these little icons to mark in like when I went to get coffee, my medical checkups, and things that made me happy. Also really love this like rainbow week in review sort of thing. Oh, this is another happy incident, which I will talk about when I show you my Hobonichi Cousin, because I think that is a lot more meaningful. Okay, and then this was the next week. Here I was, oh my gosh, sorry about that. Here was a week where I was testing the undated date covers for the Hobonichi Weeks. So we do have a dated version where you can piece together the emoji as well as the numbers, but if you don't mind writing in your own numbers, or if you have like a number sticker that you can paste on, I do sell like the undated full strip, and I was just testing the sizing for that, and I really like it. I don't plan on using this like every week just because it gets a little bit bulky, but I think if you're just like wanting to add something cute, I think it'll be really nice. And then I really like this weekend doodle that I made, and this was the inspiration behind another sticker sheet that I released. And my notes page is very empty here, but yeah. Here I went back to using fountain pens. No reason why, I just felt like it, and I love this little yarn doodle. Starting this week, I decided to try tracking my spending on the sidebar here, and I really like it actually. And so I started doing that the next week as well. I made a little currently section and a highlight section. Because the ink is this blue, I decided to do a contrast with the Tombow dual brush pen and use an orange. And then the last week of July, not so much different from the previous week. For the notes page, I wrote things that keep me going, and I intended on filling this out. As you can see, I have a lot of trouble with the notes page. I'm totally okay with it though. I just find that I'm short on time with filling it out completely. But yeah, I haven't actually set up for this week yet, but I will do so in a bit. So that is everything for my Hobonichi weeks. Okay, next up I will show my Hobonichi Cousin. Oh yes, super excited about this card. This was the monthly section, which I did a plan with me on. Still need to fill out a few more things, but I really like how this turned out. And as you can see, these were my office move days. By the way, I pretty much go to the office like almost every day, but when I write office day, it's like when I'm there for the majority of the day, which typically I'm not because I have a lot of things that I have to do at my home computer. So again, I was moving July 1st, so that is why this was pretty much empty. I just didn't have time to fill in my planner. I also didn't really fill in my work hours because everything was so muddled together and I wasn't sure like if moving counted as work, so I just I left that blank. Oh, and this washi was the same as the one in the Hobonichi weeks I was talking about. This next week, I did a plan with me on using the July snail parcel, and this is a secluded town, and I love it so much, especially the duck, and there's a sheep somewhere. Or I think it's covered up. I planned a personal painting time, but I guess that never ended up happening. I won't talk too much about this because I do have a full video on it. And then this, I used the Pastel Galaxy weekly kit from my shop. Actually, I think just a few leftovers, so I didn't use a full kit. Here I was testing the date covers and you can see I messed up the numbers, but that's okay. And then these were some very heavy design days because I was rushing against several deadlines. And honestly, this week was a complete blur because I was just rushing. So yeah, I honestly can't say too much about this, but I do love the pastel colors. All right, this week was a little bit empty. I did try a thing where, so previously, like if I work for this many hours, I will indicate that somehow with like arrows or these like bars. For this week, I decided not to do that. So for example, here I wrote design work. It looks like I only worked for 2 hours, but it likely would have been like for several hours. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I think I still prefer seeing how long I actually worked. But yeah, I just used more of the July snail parcel doodles and stuff. This was last week. I announced the Master Artist collection for the release on Sunday, or the birthday sale, and I had to use the Ode to Hokusai washi tape, which is the Great Wave, and I love it so much. And I thought it was fitting to also use my fountain pen with the blue ink. It was super weird because it has been super hot here in BC, but then for some reason like it started raining and becoming super gloomy on these few days, and so I had to take out my fuzzy jackets again. And then this is this current week, and you get a little bit of a sneak peek into the birthday kit, which I have actually not shown yet. You guys get a little bit of a preview. Okay, let's move on to the daily section. I feel like you guys are getting so tired of me saying this, but July 1st was the moving day, so I didn't have much time and I ended up just like doodling a bunch of what happened. It was again like a fever dream. So the movers came, we unloaded the trucks, we got McDonald's for both the movers and ourselves, we built the shelves, I got some food from Walmart, and then I had to go home because I had to finish the video for Sunday. It was absolutely insane. I guess I slept at 3 in the morning on that day. And then on Sunday, I wrote mentally exhausted and physically exhausted. I guess I also didn't finish the video on Saturday because I had to wake up early to finish. And then this was my lunch, which was a bunch of random things. I actually really like this lunch lettering. It's kind of cool. On Monday, I wrote no time for a to-do list. It's just one of those days. This was the swatches for the July washi. I think I received this way earlier, but I just never had the chance to swatch it. And I really love this wood grain washi. On Tuesday, I tried out a new kind of Greek salad recipe. So I just wrote down all of the ingredients. And then since then, I have made it like 4 times. It was really good. On Wednesday, I had a medical checkup. And then I went to Save On Foods to get some salmon, parsley, olive oil, and potatoes. I received my Wonder Pens order, which was super exciting. And I doodled this like melting emoji. And I wrote hot and humid. Thursday, continuing this like sort of summer theme, I put down the Summer Critters washi, and this shark washi is from Fox and Cactus. And then I made some mint and ginger tea. Ginger is actually really hard to doodle because it's so wonky. Here I doodled the cover of Taylor Swift's Speak Now album, and my favorite quotation, "This night is sparkling, don't you let it go. I'm wonderstruck, blushing all the way home." It's so weird to say that without like singing it, but I have an atrocious singing voice, so I'm not going to attempt. On Saturday, I slept in a little bit, and this was the super meaningful thing I was talking about. So I was just going to my favorite cafe, like any other day, getting an iced Americano. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but pretty much all of the baristas know me by now. And so I went in and I was like, oh, I will get my usual medium iced Americano. And the barista was like, oh, have you actually gotten the free drink and scone? And I was so confused because typically, you know, I just pay and then I leave. So I wasn't expecting this like entire conversation, and I was super confused. And turns out one of my customers who lives in the area, she went in and paid for my drink and also cinnamon roll scone. And I was so flabbergasted. Of course, I, emailed the customer afterwards and said thank you, but it absolutely made my day. And the next time I went to get coffee, but it was at Starbucks, I paid it forward as well. So yeah, people are good. Moving on to Sunday, I went on a little morning walk and listened to a podcast, and then I doodled some things that I had for Sunday's lunch. During the work week, we're all really busy, so we typically either eat like leftovers or really simple stir fries. But on Sunday, my mom made this like huge spread of food, and it was just such a treat. I don't remember why I made this color palette. I don't think I used it for anything, but I do like that color combo. And then you can pause to read everything on the sticky note, but I just had a lot of thoughts on my mind, so this was like a little flow chart that I made on a sticky note. On the 11th, I was obviously feeling overwhelmed. I doodled this like kind of reflecting blobby emoji. I did get my jet pens order, which was super exciting, and I did some swatches. On Wednesday, I used this as an hourly section instead of a to-do list because I had deadlines like hour by hour, and it was so overwhelming. And I just like made arrows of like sub to-do lists, and I did find this to be rather helpful. So yeah, I love the Hobonichi Cousin because I can just like do random stuff like this and have it fit my needs. On Thursday, I didn't check anything off, but I can assure you, I definitely did stuff on this day. My sister came over on this day and she brought me some espresso and pistachio macaroons, which were super good. And if you didn't know, she's pregnant, so that's why I drew this like little pregnancy emoji, or pregnant emoji rather. Friday was evidently a big design day, and I had a lot of deadlines. Although I don't think I finished a few of these, but that's okay because I did end up finishing over the next few days. Saturday, I love this doodle so much. I basically spent the entire day at the office with my parents. It was a very, very late night for all of us. I can't remember why. Oh yeah, on Sundays we try to make it like a rest day for us and not go to the office. So consequently on Saturday evening we were like trying to rush and get things done. So yeah, I don't know, I just felt like such a team with my parents, and so I wanted to make this doodle. So that's my dad, that's me, I'm the tallest, and then that's my mom. On Sunday, it was out of the office for us, so I made this like fun daisy doodle, which I really love. And then I was knitting very late at night, so I wrote yarn, as in like yawn, you know? Haha. Okay, let's move on. On this day, I tried a new recipe for some seeded crackers, and they turned out okay. They weren't like delicious, but I will say they were definitely healthy. So yeah. Would make again though. On Tuesday, it was another busy day. I had a book club meeting and we started reading Braiding Sweetgrass, and then I once again knitted before bed. On Wednesday, I tried a recipe for Spanish butter beans and it tasted super good, so I definitely plan on making it again. Thursday, big design day, and I doodled, I didn't have a bad day. And it's like an accomplished emoji. Sometimes this is all you need. Just like, maybe it wasn't like a good day, but it wasn't a bad day. On Friday, I had my ultrasound appointment and it was very funny. So I just wrote down the story. And then on Saturday, I had some things and photos to take. I also tried this like blueberry lemon muffin top, which was super good. And here I was doodling some divider ideas. So you get a little preview. Sunday, a reset day. I just wrote down some things that I wanted to do. And then I tried this like Hornby organic energy bar that I kept seeing at the grocery store, but I just never really picked up. And I finally tried it and it was so good. And my favorite part is it's made in British Columbia, so it's local to me. And then Monday was super exciting because I finally announced the birthday sale and revealed the collection of washi tapes and the theme. We have Van Gogh, Monet, Hokusai, and Da Vinci. And if you're interested, this is releasing on August 6th. Moving on, Tuesday, Wednesday, I did a whole video on this, so I won't talk too much about it. I made a chickpea stew, and I based all of the colors and stuff off of this washi tape. Really love this It's Not That Serious doodle, which is my new mantra. The next day, I doodled an heirloom tomato, and I just realized I didn't write today on the top, which I will do later. Friday, I meant to write down some thoughts that I had about braiding sweetgrass, but I never got around to it. I also assure you I got things done, but I just didn't check things off. Again, with my videos, I try to be as realistic and transparent as possible. I'm not gonna like do stuff just to show that I fully fill every page, but things like this do happen. So yeah. Saturday, it was a tough day for me. I was very, very, very anxious. Like from the moment I woke up, I was anxious. And I just knew that I had to like kind of rethink my day a little bit. So I started off with an hourly section and then a little to-do list. And again, I assure you I got things done, but I just didn't really check things off. And then this was yesterday, Sunday. I was taking some notes on the 5 defense systems in our body. I was reading a book that one of my customers recommended. You know who you are, and I know you watch my videos, so yeah, just jotted down some notes. And then I love this so much, aggressive knitting. I was again very anxious yesterday, so I was like knitting like a mad woman in the evening. So yeah. And then this is today. I haven't really done much yet, but I will fill this out as the day goes by. But yeah, this is my birthday week. So this is everything for my Hobonichi cousin. Moving on. I have my art journal, which is going to be super quick because I didn't do too much. So I think this is where I last left off. So I did a really quick sketch using my new favorite thing, which is this pocket brush pen from Pentel. I have been using this a lot lately. This is based off one of Van Gogh's paintings. I was feeling super inspired. Right, on July 5th, I went on a walk and I ended up walking 2 hours and 40 minutes. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Never doing that ever again. But this was one of the areas that I was walking by and I thought it was so beautiful. So I did a painting of that afterwards. I showed this in my previous video and I also used the Pentel brush pen, but this is just me drawing some ordinary things in my life. Here I have a chocolate toaster oven, some flowers on our table. This is the Hobonichi Cousin with some pens and stuff, cupboard with a microwave, and then Patagonia Provisions tin fish. Really random things, but that's kind of the point. I'm just like drawing random stuff that I typically wouldn't draw. And then this was just like a really quick sketch of my sister and her husband. They did like a maternity photo shoot and I thought this was such a sweet photo. So those were my sketches for July. Nothing too exciting. Okay, this is not planner related at all, but I will quickly show you my knitting progress. Ever since I hauled my yarn from Wool Warehouse, I realized that a lot of my viewers also like knitting. So yeah, okay, right off the bat, you can see a lot of imperfections. I am, again, a very beginner knitter. So I made a lot of errors, and at this stage in my knitting journey, I do not yet have the skills to fix mistakes. Like at some point, the stitches like completely fell off my needles and I tried my best to fix it, but as you can see, there's like little holes and stuff everywhere. I'm doing a top-down striped sweater, so I started by knitting the neck and then the yoke over here with all of the increases. This is gonna have full sleeves, but I'm just knitting the body for now. And you can see the stripes coming together. Again, a lot of sad imperfections, but I'm gaining a lot of skills with this project, so I'm really excited. I think at this rate, I should be able to finish in the month of August, but we will see. I tend to knit when I get stressed, and I get stressed very often, so I'm making progress really, really quickly. Okay, now I will talk a little bit about my 2024 plans. And I will just open to this page so you can stare at something. So for 2024, I think I have my system in mind. Obviously, I will change things around, but this is like the gist of it. So I plan on getting the A6 Hobonichi. So this is the A5. I'm gonna get the A6, which is a lot smaller. And I'm gonna use that as my main daily journal. So all of this like journaling stuff, I plan on doing in my A6, but I'm definitely not giving up on the Hobonichi Cousin. I'm still going to be getting the Hobonichi Cousin because I want to continue using the monthly section. I really, really like the monthly section of the Hobonichi Cousin, and I really like the weekly section. So for those two sections, I want to continue using the Hobonichi Cousin. Now you might be wondering, okay, what about like the majority of the planner where it's like the daily pages? I also plan on using that because as you can see, for most of my days, I am like filling it out completely. So it's impossible for me to fit all of this into an A6 planner. So I plan on using this as an extension to the A6. If I need to do like brainstorming, or if I want to, I don't know, jot down like ideas like this, recipes, I will do that in my Hobonichi Cousin. The only difference is I won't be filling it out completely with like my daily thoughts and stuff like that. It's more so just like kind of a commonplace sort of notebook. And then I will continue using my bullet journal, but in a new book because this one's almost finished. And I also plan on getting a take a note planner. I'm gonna get that as undated because I certainly do not need a third planner to use every single day. So I plan on using the take a note planner for my academic / learning stuff. I don't know if you recall, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, but I told myself after graduating that I would give myself 2 years to focus on the business. One of my big goals was to move into my office, which I have, as you know, done. And, you know, by no means is the Coffee Monsters Co. like independent from me or anything. I'm still super involved, so there are still a few things that I could improve upon. But yeah, starting next year, I will be putting myself and my learning a little bit more as a priority because I do want to start applying to graduate school. So my Take a Note planner is going to act as my personal planner for like applications and studying and all of that. So I think that is it for my planner plans. Again, I will go more in depth once I actually do have the planners in hand, but that is kind of what is stewing in my brain right now. So I think that's it. I have been talking for way too long. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I will not be speaking to anybody for the next 3 business days.